Session 41. Yeah!
So, last time big things happened. Welcome to Chapter 5, however. This is the first official session we're starting in Chapter 5.
Yes.
Does anyone want to give the dramatic recap for last time?
Oh.
No.
Not a huge amount specifically happened. It was pretty much... Artemis waded in through spiders, and then through the ground. Then we set the spider cave on fire. Then we climbed up through the toilet, stole the toilet and the bathtub, attacked the high priestess lady that was summoning Orcus, killed her, took the wand, I rolled a 20, sent all the horrible power against the witch, then we all got squished by a humongous boulder, but thanks to the Archmage and Laurel combined, we survived just long enough for some very lengthy resurrections to happen. We woke up on this island. Lucilia, the elven princess, took over the Empire of Emerizia, and we are now part of the faction of royalists who still are loyal to William and putting him on the throne. A lot has happened with politics. We're in a tiny island. There's too much politics to go into in a short thing. But Zoe is now a official angel, and Artemis is a half dragon, and Raphael's been very solemn and sad. Sad, Raphael, sad. And Laurel's oversleeping, apparently.
He was up all night.
He's up all night. He's sleeping his 2 hours right now.
Night to get fun.
And that's about it. I can't think of anything else that really specifically happened that's going to ruin the world.
So,
Oh, Red Dragon escaped. Red Dragon
yeah.
escapes. That was it. That was
yeah,
it.
you see, that's
Yeah, that would have been
something.
one of it. Oh, and Cavaciro died. Cavaciro being the big old gold.
a lot of things happened.
A lot of things happened.
So,
It's so
the
complicated.
party has rested for 2 days. And after 2 days of doing whatever you do in your rest, cry to yourselves, train,
Drink.
be teleported around everywhere as some of you were. You've decided it's time to meet up, work out your plan of attack, and decide what you're doing. And it looks like the meetings will be happening in the council room. So that 2 of the party members are already there,
Do we have a council room?
Yeah,
technically, like the command chamber
What?
in
Where?
this room
down here where you met.
where we met
Oh.
the first,
Yeah.
where we all joined in.
Oh, I'm sorry, Aryan.
Yeah, Arian can't really fit.
Arian could be teleported down technically if you wanted him, but
I don't think he's needed, particularly.
Well, is there anyone we need to sense motive on?
I mean, in your own party.
I just learned recently you can't do that.
No, you normally can't. Unless it's like you don't trust Iris or something like that. You know.
I think Zoe and Artemis have pretty good sense motives, so.
Mm-hmm.
Ballard has like a huge new cape. It's like very, very big, and it's black, and it's it's cool.
Yeah?
So he has 29 charisma.
29 charisma, huh?
Oh goodness, you've almost hit Azurius.
That's what Riff had when she died.
But yes. So, you assemble in the council chamber. It is early morning. You possibly or possibly not have not ordered breakfast to come. Depending.
I will have brought it with me.
Very well, you've gone upstairs, gotten breakfast, and come back down again.
Artemis would have gone as well. Breakfast.
They call me Breakfast Man.
Raphael will have a stack of papers with him. Looking as official as it can look, I suppose. With,
Ballard will have... Oh, go on.
No, please.
Okay. I was going to say Ballard will have a stack of pancakes with him.
Arguably, Ballard has one in that case. And then Raphael will look around to the others and say, well, I believe Laurel has to take care of something. Looking over to Bollard.
Well, I'd heard deep snoring.
Ballard nods. Yeah.
Need to take care of this quickly. Then Raphael nods and says, very well, I suppose we should start with what we have been doing these few days after we came back from the dead. He sort of taps his pile of papers. Because we are certainly in a position where information and allies seems to be a very interesting thing to have, yes? Now then, I have been in contact with some of the people I can call upon, and I am happy to report that the Blades survived, and they are currently hiding in Selmont under the wise guidance of Crimson. None died in the escape from the capital, and as such, I have asked her to start moving the Blades over to Alentor to help us assist in the coming battle against the Red. We can certainly direct them to other places as well if we so choose. They are a small organization, but they are quite elite. Good for scouting. If you need to hold a pass, for instance, I think they can do very well. Or assassination work. So moves that paper away. Might come in handy with what I would suggest for our first order of business, but that comes in a bit. The Imperial capital seems to me to be entirely cut off. Only water and air passes through the barrier. I have tried to use some magics to pierce the defenses, but it is all but impossible. Lucilla's forces consist of an elven army, supplied by her vile brother, who also seems to be her puppet master. Lucilla, as far as I have been informed, is completely under the sway of the brother, and taking him out would probably prompt her to simply surrender. There is also something of a super weapon marching around the capital, a golem that I do believe was the make of the Volsenbracks. It has now fallen under the control of Lucilia, and for all intents and purposes, it is indestructible. Is that correct, Ballard?
Ballard nods and says, yes, it is, if you were to classify it as a pre-existing type of golem, it is a heavily modified adamantine golem, which are already very tough to take out.
How tough is the adamantine then? Artemis will say.
It's
adamant.
unless you cast some sort of very high-level magical spell, such as wishing to the gods, it is literally indestructible.
Raphael nods. Imagine trying to battle a moving mountain, and that is basically what this is.
How did she get control of it?
Well, we died before it was finished. And,
she must have finished it.
Presumably, well, no. Laurel had another construct that he used as a constructor, a homunculus, if you will, rather. The homunculus was what was creating this golem, and presumably the Empire managed to take control of this homunculus, force it to finish it, and then took control of them both.
Easy enough with a spellcaster so powerful.
The homunculus is incredibly good at what it does.
Raphael nods.
Which is create things.
The problem is that the golem, as we say, is indestructible. It can be destroyed for a short amount of time, but then it just repair itself. We would need the Archmage or the Prince Bishop to assist us in destroying it, if we need to destroy it.
Is there no way for you to get control of it again?
Raphael shrugs. I don't know. Looks to Ballard.
Oh, Jake Skype died.
Yeah.
I would assume if...
What were you saying? It can be what?
Is there no way you can get control of it again?
Oh, wow.
Well, basically we have to get the homunculus back.
I
Which
see.
is inside the capital.
Yeah.
Which still remains, as we need to remove that barrier, and the easiest way would be to have Lucilia leave the capital. She cannot hold it from a distance.
I think the best plan of action, as an aside, if we encounter the golem, is to simply run. We cannot defeat it.
Raphael nods. I agree. Avoidance is the best course of action if we were to run into the golem. The one flaw it has in its construction is that it has no capability of flight. And as such, we would hold. It would be easy for us to avoid it. For now, that is the course of action I would also endorse.
Pollard nods. We should also keep in mind, normally this isn't something that I would tell you, but in case it becomes relevant, the golem was configured to fit me inside of it. It can become a suit. However, if someone of suitable size is also nearby and the golem is under their control, they can also be inside of it. And if they can fly, then it can fly.
Well,
In that state, it is little more than a heavy suit of armor that provides incredible protection. It has none of its other incredible qualities in that state, but still something to watch out for.
And is this functionality easily accessible by someone who has not,
who doesn't
Knowledge
know?
of it.
I don't believe that the Empire would know of that.
very
But
well.
I could be wrong.
When it comes to the Sapphire Guard, it seems uncertain. Lucilla has them under control through our friend Miranda, who is the puppet on the throne. If they were to be ordered by William to stand down or to attack and Miranda to stand down, they would probably just stand aside and let us deal with it. They wouldn't take part in any open fighting as long as we have William on our side, most likely. I have a few contacts within the Sapphire hierarchy, but I haven't approached them. It seemed too risky at the moment. Move some other papers away. Lucilla's brother, then, is on the Elven Isle. He is hiding somewhere. He seems to be the high priority target for us to take out.
I mean, hostage.
He shrugs. Hostage if it can be done, or killed if it cannot be done.
Well,
To
begin with, hostage would be best to make Lucilla stand down.
Artemis will pipe up and say, yeah, if we kill her brother, Lucilia is more likely to be on the warpath and for vengeance.
I agree, but
So-
if it is between letting him escape or killing him, I would suggest killing him.
He shrugs and says, I'm sure we can apprehend him without murdering him. But I suppose the evidence will be when it actually happens.
Indeed. The Duchess of Alentor is unscribable, but it is believed that she is somewhere in her capital at the moment, preparing for the big dragon who is on a rampage through Alentor. She has spent a lot of her resources fortifying the capital with magics, cannons, soldiers, adventurers, mercenaries, and anything else she can scrape together. This will be important in a bit, I think. Lucilla is not actively tracking us, as far as I know, which it's a bit odd to me. She took power, and she is a spellcaster of quite some talent. It would be easy for us to probably track us down, but she has not done so.
She may presume
And I
us
wonder
dead.
why.
She
I presume us dead, but he sort of waves a hand away. But she's not tracking William. She has a bounty on him, yes, but she's not actively scrying upon him.
perhaps.
Looks up and looks down to you guys. Well, from what we've been able to tell so far, all of us are. She could try scrying on any of us, and people have tried, but her herself has not, even though she's the only one who could reach it. And we're pretty sure she knows that.
Perhaps.
So she is actively not tracking us, which is significant, I'm sure, in some way.
Perhaps she only took.
She doesn't think it was worth her time, which apparently worth their gold.
Perhaps she
my.
simply took the capital as we weren't there, saw it as the last resort. Perhaps once we rear our heads, she may just abandon this cause. He shrugs
Jacob
again.
snorts.
He shrugs again.
Seems unlikely, at least as long as the brother is still in control.
Indeed, it could. It is unlikely, but
For all the damage her and the brother has done, it is a half-hearted attempt, is it not? If I were in her position, I would have spared no expense and no effort to track down William and take him out. But she has not done so.
Perhaps she simply does not care.
Perhaps she fears what the arm can do inside of him.
Perhaps. Yes, about the arms. We are coming to that in a minute as well. I am also wondering what the Empire's current resources are going to. Where is the money and the manpower being funneled? For this I do not know. Perhaps some of you people can help me figure this out, but I am sure she is spending the money and her influence somewhere. I just haven't figured out where yet.
From what I understand is she's basically helping the populace over anything else.
She has posted a million gold bounty on William. That money has to come from somewhere.
He shrugs and says, who knows if it's her money or the Empire's money.
The
Depending on
Empire
the
has had much
scruples.
money, at least when we left.
Or perhaps it's just a number.
Depending on her scruples, she could just kill whoever brings her William and not have to pay them.
Raphael shrugs. Certainly true.
You can set the bounty as high as you want. The higher you set it, the more people will come. Eventually, someone has to bring her William.
One of my associates, Cassandra, who I think you have all met, she was a singer and a bard at the Lucky Badger back in the day.
Artemis looks confused.
Don't worry. She is still alive and well as well, and I have set up a meeting with her outside of the capital city. And hopefully, when I do meet her in 5 days' time, I will have some more information about the situation inside the city itself.
How did you manage to do that?
He motions towards, wherever Leona is. Leona has certain powerful magics, as it turns out. And managed to get fragments through.
Iris looks down. Yes, Iris's scrying is more powerful than most. It can partially get through, but only slightly. It was enough to convey the basic idea that he was there. And if what you told me before was correct, she gave you the date and time. You didn't give her it.
That is correct. The Flame Fist is also alive and well. He is on a ship sailing somewhere. To me, he might be a very possible ally in this. He has fought dragons before. His expertise could be very useful to us. He is not very happy with his current position, as Irolda was a dear friend of his. And with her gone, he is, in a foul mood, to say the least. I think he would be sympathetic to our cause. With him on our side, a sizable portion of the Imperial army would most likely come with him.
Artemis quirks an eyebrow and says, which direction is he sailing? Do you know? North or...?
Did I notice that, Dork?
You had no clue. It was just C, C, and C.
Okay.
Yeah, he shrugs.
The problem being is that, from what I know from the notes that the sorceress you had with you left, is that there were two arms, one in the North Sea and one in the East Sea. He shrugs, says perhaps he's off looking for one. Perhaps the ring.
Perhaps. Anyway, I have not approached him either. I wanted to run it by the group first.
I think if we leave our influence away from anyone in the capital or in grasping distance of Lucilia, we should leave them alone until our presence is duly noted by her. No point giving away the knowledge we're alive before necessary.
Well, so far the people I've told that we're alive is the Archmage, and for some reason I can talk to the angel inside the Prince Bishop with no problem.
He may not be permanently inside the Prince Bishop. He may be resting in a plane.
He told me the reason was because he was still attached to where he died, and that is not inside
It's outside the
the
effect.
bubble.
Very well. It also seems to me clear now that Lucilia and Alentor and whatever other duchies were allied in this. As soon as we were gone, Lucilia resumed pushing her outrageous demands that she bloody well knew could not be accepted, and when she was refused by the rest of the council, that gave Alentor the excuse it needed to move forward with a vote of no confidence. It was a simple yet very effective political plot. Alentor certainly was championing this very much. It makes a grimace. Moves that paper out of his side. The big red dragon is currently in Falsewind. He's moving west towards Alentor, as I said. I have also... He pets the cat. I have also been in contact with my old master, a pirate queen of some repute called Isadora. She is willing to help us and has begun setting up raiding of the elven supply lines and is delivering the resources to us. And at this point he will, push money over to people. Like a huge chest. Like elven coins and stuff in it, he'll push that over. So I think you noted that down.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that's...
Should I have money?
You should all have money, yes.
Yes.
You didn't note that?
New money?
You got
Or
New
old
money.
You got 5,000 from Artemis and 13,000 from Raphael, I believe.
I must have missed those messages.
She is gonna continue to raid the supply lines, and maybe we will have more in the future. She is quite skilled. And that was his papers, and he will sort of, turn them into a neat pile again and look over to the others. And that was all the information I have managed to gather.
Iris looks down. By famous, you mean her name is known in pretty much every dock. If you go ahead and find the less scrutable pirates.
Raphael smiles, a lopsided smile. I am very fond of her.
There are hundreds of bars named after her. If you look.
I do not doubt.
I think we stayed in a few on our way up here.
Well, I will say it's a good thing that we have resources. I just want to remind the group that not all the elves are our enemies. A lot of them have been suppressed. Now that... because there are so many that joined us instead of joining them.
What is the current political situation in the Elven Isles? Do you know?
I have not dared contacting... I can hear myself.
Perhaps
I have not dared contacting any of the elves.
diplomacy
Because
should probably wait.
Well, because as far as I know, the Lucilla and her brother is belonging to some sort of supremacy faction, and with their taking control, they have been quite violent to their political opponents. A lot of wind in their sails after such a grand political victory over the Empire.
Artemis smokes and says, having an extremely powerful spellcaster like Lucilia is a very useful tool when you're in politics.
Well, they're the dragon tools.
My friends, I do have a few things that I wish to discuss with you that are of quite important matters, but I would like to hear if you have any other news to bring before we go into that.
Artemis shrugs and says, nothing to do with us at all. Mainly stuff to do with the tree, but that has nothing to do with us. Nothing I can mention, at least.
Ballard shakes his head.
Not that I have already given.
Very well. Then, looks over to Laurel's empty chair, frowning. Then I have something I wish to discuss with you. We have been told that if we want to win the hearts and minds of the people, A most direct way to do this would be to take out the Red Dragon. The Red Dragon is a menace. He is a terror and an agent of chaos and destruction. Isn't that so, Artemis?
He nods and says he has some awful titles, one being the Great Betrayer and one having to do with destruction and the such. He's a general arsehole. And he's sort of godlike. Fighting him is going to be a real pain. Cavasiro gave his life just pushing him away from the tree, let alone fighting him.
Okay, nods.
And that was a great worm, gold dragon. None left of his kind.
Yes, the scale of the threat presented to us then is apocalyptic. And I have been thinking, and I've done some talking. And I think if we are to go up against this threat, we must utilize all the tools available to us. As such, I suggest we strongly consider using some of the Imperial arms.
Artemis nods and says, when I travelled to the World Tree, I managed to speak with the remnants of Cavasiro's spirit. He believes that the arms would be a very useful tool in annihilating him. One tool also being an amulet of yours, Raphael. It will sever his connection between the mother and allow us to finally kill him. We can only knock him out, and you must actually press it against him for it to work. If we knock him out, press that against him, suppress his connection with the mother, and then kill him then, he cannot come back. But we may need arms to fight him.
Yes. So it was with this in mind, and with great trepidation, that I have a talk with William. What he has told me is, however, encouraging. He can summon the arms to himself for a short amount of time. They are still locked in the Imperial Vault behind most of the active wards, and this makes it more difficult for him. But he can summon them. And he can allow us to wield some of them as well. I have seen him summon the arms myself.
The problem with him dealing with the arms is that it allows the influence of the mother to pierce into him. But, again, the amulet Raphael has can linger in effect to protect him.
Raphael nods. Yes, I have let him hold the amulet for a few minutes every morning. The protection, as far as I know, lasts for about a day. It is also something I would suggest the rest of us start doing as well.
Artemis nods.
Raphael will, at this pass around the amulet. Everyone can hold it for a little bit.
But if I remember rightly, the main person to have an issue with us using the arms would be you, Zoe. What do you stand on this?
What has Liana said to any of this?
Liana has said a lot about this. He actually flips through some of the papers again.
She gave this a lot of thought with Raphael.
Let me read out what I got here.
I believe she said that there's a danger to William, yet having the possibility of greater tools. Perhaps we can finish the threat before it ever affects the boy. The man, I suppose we could call him now.
She told this to me, that the Imperial arms were not created willingly by the first Emperor, but instead under the Mother's influence.